Hi, everyone, and this is Marie Eve, Nadine Jean Baptiste, and welcome to Let's Talk Episode 5 with Miss Francine Hyman of Economic Action, Maryland. Francine, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for
I know
having
we
me.
originally, thank you. I know we originally met, last year, which almost feels like a dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was volunteering with Cash Campaign,
Mhm.
another nonprofit, and you were talking about two major things that I think that people really need to know about. So while we were in training, I sent you an email and I was like, "Hey, would you like to be on my podcast?" So thank you so much for being here today. We don't have much time. This is usually a 15-minute segment, but we might go a little bit over. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about your journey as a social worker, to your work with you guys call it eco action. um so if you don't mind, expounding on that.
Sure. So my career started out
Mhm.
in nursing homes and retirement homes. And I just felt that older adults weren't getting the resources that they really needed, although they were in the nursing homes and the retirement communities. So, especially transportation being one big obstacle for them. My job was to schedule transportation and the many hoops you had to jump through insurance. So
Mhm.
at that point, I was like, I need to change the system.
Mhm.
Um, but you quickly learn that is a very, very long journey.
Yes, it is.
You also quickly learn that macro work may not be for you. Um,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
I am more into the micro work. I love working with clients. I love, the dynamic of working with older adults. It really does
Mhm.
not feel like work. I get to learn so much about them. And I found there were other ways to help them meet whatever goal they were reaching. And, my colleagues, they work on the macro stuff with the
Mhm.
policy advocacy work. Yeah.
Yeah. Working with older adults, I don't ever consider it work. The stuff
Right.
that these people tell you and how easy it is for them to kind of just be out and about, um and just, I don't know. I was at a volunteer event the other day, and this gentleman, we help a lot of individuals, expunge their records,
Mhm.
and this guy was just telling us his entire criminal history,
I'm
right?
sure. Yeah.
And at a point, I said to him, I said, "Mr. So and so, is there a statute of limitation to admitting to all of this? Because I don't think you should be telling me this."
Right. I am
They're
not the
just,
one.
yeah, they're just so full of life and information. And, he was telling us all this as young attorneys because he's like, "You guys are here helping me, but let me help you by giving you some words of wisdom as to what not to do." Right.
Ah,
Which was quite amazing. So, working with the elderly population, I can definitely tell you're always going to learn something, and it 100% never feels like work. It
right.
feels like you're there to learn. So, can you describe your work with, Eco Action? What are you guys about? Because you have some amazing statistics, and I told you I was going to go over these stats because this is crazy. You have served 1,268 tenants. You have returned over $300,000 in credits and tax benefits
Yep.
to elderly individuals, and you have sponsored 90 economic justice state bills. Dude, when do you sleep?
Well, we work hard. I will say kudos to my team. We each have our own area. My area is older adults. Then we
Mhm.
have a Carol who works with tenants, Robin who does fair housing, and of course Marceline, our executive director, she does the policy advocacy. And although it may seem like our work is so siloed, we really do come together because the work that we do with older adults, it'll drive the research from the
Mhm.
data that I'm collecting. And then I can say, hey, I'm seeing this trend. We really need to do something about it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's kind of how we work. It's mostly through collaboration and coalition efforts like the Cash Campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, this year we partnered with them and we were on site 3 days out of the week at the
Wow.
Randallstown Library and the Community Engagement Center. So we were there helping with the Maryland renters and homeowners property tax credits, while Marceline and Isadora were down in Annapolis doing their thing when the policy.
Wow. Well, talk to us about the renter's credit.
Yes. So, and it's funny because a lot of people, they aren't aware that this credit is available to them. And
I sure didn't. I
really
think I called everybody. I was like,
easy.
do you know that there's a renter's credit? Because I'm a former renter. I know the homeowner side,
Mhm.
but I did not know at that time. So please talk to us about this.
So this program has been around since the 70s. It may have been called renters rebate, but it's the renters tax credits. And originally it was for older adults, those 60 and older. And what it is as a renter, I'm also a renter, we indirectly pay property taxes. Every time we pay our rent, a portion goes towards paying the landlord's property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So to give us a credit, relieve some of that burden, the state came up with eligibility requirements, and you submit an application once a year, and renters are eligible to receive up to $1,000.
Wow.
Now, like
That
I
is
said,
a lot.
it's a lot. I mean, it started at 700 maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I started with Economic Action back in 2017. And I believe back in 2017, they were the champions of increasing that from 700 to now 1,000.
Wow.
And I hope to do that again.
Yeah. I mean, because it should be bigger, because if you think about it, the vast properties that people own that they put renters in, their property tax isn't $3,000 to $4,000.
Right.
Right? These are, $1.5 million buildings that have like 300-400 renters in there. So that's big.
No, I
So
agree.
I love that. I did not know that there's a renter's tax, but everybody I know knows now because I made sure to tell them.
Yes.
Now
So again,
talk to us. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to finish. It started out for those 60 and older, but now it also includes low-income families, those with a dependent in the household. So I will say, if you're just curious, you want to know if you're eligible, to just give us a call, because renters, the household, everything, family dynamics plays a huge part. So I don't want to say that there's an income qualification, because it just depends on how many are residing in the household.
Right.
So I would just encourage everyone to give us a call to confirm their eligibility.
And I love that that's what your company does, which I think is amazing. Believe it or not, when I started my practice, it's kind of what I had in mind. Because I want to start my nonprofit. I'll talk to you about it another day, but putting people in connection with someone who can help, or an organization that can help, is huge. It's a huge thing, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So to have an organization like yours, it's like, listen, we know all this stuff. Here's where to get it. It's quite inspiring. The homeowners tax credit, can you explain? I know what it is, but can you explain it to others who might not be familiar with it?
Sure. So again, the homeowners tax credit, again, has been around, I believe, since 1968. And it's to just give homeowners some relief on the property taxes that they pay. Originally, it was for older adults, but that has also expanded. As long as you own the home, you are eligible to apply. The household income, however, cannot exceed $60,000.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between the homeowners and the renters. The renters, it all depends on family dynamics. But the homeowners, as long as your household income does not exceed $60,000, you should be eligible. And it's one application. Both renters and homeowners must apply every year. But the good thing is, once you apply, the State Department of Assessments and Taxation, they have your information. So between January and February, they should automatically send you an application.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
don't have to remind yourself, okay, let
Right.
me do this every um you're welcome, Devin. Devin says he didn't know about the renter's relief. He has an inspection, so he has to go.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you, Devin, for tuning in. And this is going to be on social media. It's always on social media. So if anybody wants to, review this at a later time, it's definitely going to be available. But another thing that I definitely want to ask you is about the vision and the purpose of the organization and just
yes.
ways that people can get involved. I want to get more involved. You have my personal number, you have my information. You
Mhm.
need anything, you let me know. But for the individuals out there who don't know you and is not familiar with the organization, what is its vision, its purpose, and how do people get involved in furthering that mission?
Sure. So I'm going to reintroduce ourselves because we are now the Economic Action Maryland, formerly Maryland Consumer Rights Coalition. So some may be familiar with us. But again, we just believe in the dignity of all people, right? People should have access to resources, and organizations should be transparent in the services and resources that are out there. So we prioritize the needs of marginalized communities, and we do that through our community partnerships, collaboration, and coalition efforts. Um, there are many ways folks can get involved. If you want to volunteer with the SOAR program, come out and spend a day with us at an outreach event, just give me a call, 410-220-0494. Donations are always helpful. And just spread the word about our organization on Facebook and on Twitter. Again, Economic Action Maryland. Or if you'd like to volunteer, again, we work on policy advocacy, we work on fair housing discrimination, tenant rights advocacy, and again, we also do the work with older adults. So there are many areas for someone to volunteer their time.
Yeah, I would love to get involved with the policy side of things, but
Mhm.
as I told you earlier, I would not be the best fit. Um, my emotions and my
Yeah,
bleeding heart will not allow me to see clearly.
yeah.
And I know my lane. I'm in
Yeah,
it.
no, it really is a tough job. And, I get interns from the University of UMBC, and
Uh-huh.
I always talk to them about self-care and boundaries
Yes.
because we jump in and we want to help. And it's like, okay, I can get you a renter's tax credit. I can get you a homeowner's tax credit, but what else is going on in the household? And that is
Mm,
literally when the floodgates open. Now we're talking
okay.
about heat and water bills and Medicare insurance. Um,
Yes.
so our
That's right,
community,
because you screen for other benefits too.
we do an earned benefits screening, and we screen for about 27 benefits in
Oh.
Maryland. And we also help with the applications if needed. Some folks, they just want the application, and that's fine. We'll mail you one, and we'll check in to say, hey, did you receive the application? Were you able to apply? And if they weren't, we try to work with them to get them to
Mhm.
apply. We also do some financial coaching and counseling. If
Oh,
you have a goal,
wow.
I know a lot of people think, oh, older adults, they don't really have goals, but yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
They
Yeah.
do. You just have to
Mhm.
talk to them.
Okay.
And I know talking about finances is difficult. So that's a longer relationship with our clients if they want
Yeah.
financial coaching. A
Yeah.
very difficult conversation, but it's necessary.
Yeah. I think, financial coaching is fun until it gets real.
Yes.
Like when you realize, oh shoot, I'm spending too much money, or yeah, I didn't really need those shoes or that car or something like that. And you got to kind of pare down. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this.
Right. And
But
it's the opposite for older adults, right? I can't tell them to pare down because
you
there's
can't.
so much going on. Like, I can't tell
Yeah.
someone you don't need cable when I'm trying to combat isolation, and that may be the only noise in
Yeah.
the household. So
Yeah.
it's difficult, but I think them just having us to talk to on a regular helps them in other ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely, and I'll talk to you about this backstage, because I do want to get more involved with individuals who are elderly, because I find that a lot of my clients who are elderly, they don't have as many contacts as you think they should or would,
Right.
um, which to me is crazy because I practically have to beg my mom, to leave New York City to come hang with me in Maryland for a week. But these people are just like they're looking for people to hang with,
They are.
kind of thing. So um, just bless your heart for the work that you're doing and just how you do it. It's the work that we do is hard. It just is. It's hard.
Yep.
And
I
you
agree.
talk about, balance and stuff like that. And I want to talk to you about that too, because I know you work from home. You also work from the office. You're a mom like me.
Mhm.
And you're trying to take care of 14 million people at a time. So how do you take care of yourself and keep that smile on your face and your face looks fresh and you don't look sleep deprived? How do you do that?
I am very boundary oriented. So
Okay,
if if my day stops at 5, my day stops at 5.
that's right.
I will put out the fire tomorrow. And I know that
Yes.
may sound harsh because, someone may be going through an emergency or, but I prioritize really well.
Okay.
Um, my kids, yeah, like I said, I have 2 children. I have a
Okay.
16-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Oh, wow, there's a huge age gap.
Huge age gap, right? So I'm busy with their activities, but I do find time for myself. I love watching scary movies. So
Okay.
that's my self-care as weird as it sounds.
Oh, okay.
I love scary movies. I love murder mysteries. So that's my self-care. And I practice that to my staff. I have 2 great staff members, Jamila Blake, who works with our homeowners, and Leo
Okay.
Ariaza, who just came on. I think we just made his 1-year anniversary, but he works with
Wow.
transfers. Yeah. And he's
Okay.
bilingual. So we're trying to expand into the Latinx community to make sure they're taking advantage of these credits. Um,
Yeah.
so
I love
we
it. I
of course,
love the self-care. And when
yes,
you have a 16-year-old, self-care, people think that they're not that needy. They're pretty needy.
they are.
They're pretty needy. I think they're a little bit more than the younger ones, but that's just my opinion.
Different
But
needs.
thank you. Yeah, definitely different needs. Money, food.
Yes,
Have you seen my charger? Why would I
yes.
take your charger to your phone? Why
Yeah.
would I have seen your charger that is on your phone? Girl, I got a 15-year-old. It's okay.
You
Um
know,
I do know. But Francine, thank you so much for being here today and talking to us about the renters credit, homeowners credit. As you said earlier, if anybody wants to contact you, the number to excuse me, EcoNation is 410-220-0494. And the website is econaction.org. Please, please, please reach out. These individuals do amazing work, and I look forward to partnering with you guys in the future. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe the St. Eve Law Firm. If you guys have any questions, our phone number is 443-707-8692. Feel free to reach out to us. Francine, thank you again. We'll talk behind the scenes, but I'll go ahead and end this broadcast. Have a great day, everyone.
you too. Bye.